guys, there was something that came out, and I don't know, will this have an effect on the Dallas Cowboys game? I actually don't know much about it, so I'm going to lean on you, but I'll read the article here. It's Aaron Rodgers, a.k.a. Ayahuasca A-Rod.
Is that why you were looking at ayahuasca stuff? I would creeped onto your Dig Dug.
I was just for the post.
Big Doug? Duck, duck, goose?
Oh,
Duck,
whatever.
duck, go?
Duck, duck, go.
I was just looking how to spell ayahuasca because it's a weird way to spell
What
it.
is it? AYAHUSCA?
Yeah.
Ayahuasca.
Something like that?
SCA, yeah. But Aaron Rodgers sticks up for Mike McCarthy after Cowboys' 4th straight loss. What's he saying?
By Ryan Phillips, November 12th, 2024.
What's he saying?
What do we want to know what he's saying? Do you want me
Did anyone read it?
No.
I went, okay.
No,
okay,
no, no.
Shit, no, I didn't.
Okay, no.
Hey,
Classic.
read it. Come on, dog. With we would lose hot takes.
No, I just Google searched some articles and threw them in the DMs. today.
Okay. When asked, because I usually try to at least find out the place that we want to go to, but this is even more fun. When asked about the drama between Micah Parsons and McCarthy in Dallas, Rodgers said, and this was on the Pat McAfee show or McAfee show, whichever way you want to pronounce it. I love Mike. Mike's Pittsburgh tough through and through, man. Love Mike. 13 incredible inches. I mean, years together. So
There's no way Mike's packing a 13-incher.
no,
He might be.
Not a chance.
It's a Coke can. That's what I expect.
Dude, is there a clip of it?
Oh yeah. Okay, that might be even better, right?
Oh, yeah, here we go. Are we going to get flagged? Yeah, let's do it.
No way, man.
Someone didn't connect himself. Doo-da, doo-da. Someone didn't connect himself.
AJ was in the ayahuasca.
I was ayahuasca.
You were in the den. You were in the drug
Somebody
den.
didn't connect
I
himself.
feel like I'm halfway derailing this cast right now, but it is a fun ride.
It is
Can we
fun.
talk about a little drama? There's a little drama going on.
Yeah, for sure.
Ton Diggs has a question for you.
Yeah, and I want to read this quote word for word so it doesn't get taken out of context.
Shut up.
It's-
Whoa,
Fake
whoa,
cowboy.
whoa, whoa,
What?
whoa, whoa, whoa.
Someone
Okay,
smack
let me
that
just
hat
read a
off his
quote.
head.
It says, "You want to win games and do great things with those type of legends who put in more time and work than Mike McCarthy ever did."
So that's the Micah Parsons.
That
quote.
was not.
Is Mike McCarthy a hard worker or that's
Word
pretty
for
just
word.
There's a lot of words you left out there at the beginning.
Is that guy Tom Segura with
quote.
the cowboy hat?
He looks
Who
like
said
him.
that?
Micah Parsons.
Hang on, before we hear that reply.
quote.
He looks totally.
That looks like a Tom Segura.
He looks
to
like
me.
a younger before Segura started losing a bit of weight.
Right, yeah.
I will say that Tone, he's very consistent with his cowboy hat. He's always wearing a cowboy hat.
You're our McAfee resident.
I don't
can
religiously
fanner.
watch them.
I used
Yes,
to watch.
you do.
I used to watch him much more when he
Yes,
was
he does.
just on YouTube.
He's still on YouTube.
I know, but it's just
Before he got made bank.
it's not. Nothing changed in the show. I changed.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not you. It's me.
That's 100% what it is. It felt like it was going to change, but it is the same show. I've never once watched a show end to end. I've watched these clips.
Well, yeah, they play. Fuck, they're on.
He's
for
three
hours.
he's 3 hours. Yeah.
So he was talking about cowboy hat guy. What's his name? Ed?
Tone.
Tone. Oh, okay.
Tone Loke.
So Tone read what Micah Parsons had said about
Yes.
Mike McCarthy.
But
And
he read the clickbaited part of the interview, and that's
but
that's what they're talking
okay,
about right
but
now.
time out before we even listen anymore.
You fucking time out, Adam. For
Time
Christ's
out.
sakes.
T.
I'm the guy who does his job. You must be the other guy.
So you say the clickbait art part, but clickbait to me is something that you put in a title that doesn't really reference what you're talking about in the video.
Yeah, by the time you get to the end of it.
That's exactly what Micah Parsons said.
True.
It's the most relevant part. The rest of the time, yeah, he's saying blah 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 blah.
No, you're right.
But
Yeah.
he greased
You mean the
the climax.
the climax.
But in this situation, you are right because nothing was absolutely taken out of context because he says something fairly accurate where he's going in and being playing for the players, and then he just drops his thing about Mike McCarthy.
He just pulls it out in the lineup, and we're all forced to look at it.
He just stood there and said, "Hey, this is what I'm packing."
And the reason that
What about you, Mike?
The reason that the
you
Mac
13-inch motherfucker.
he's a big old hog on him. Fucking
Swollen though.
swollen.
Boner? Boner one of them?
He's
So
got
the
elephantitis.
The
down
thing
there.
with Aaron Rodgers, who's going to respond to this, he played for Mike McCarthy, so he knows the type of work.
Won
So
a Super
imagine
Bowl
we're-
with Mike
Won
McCarthy.
a Super Bowl, and people are going to say, "Well, Aaron Rodgers is one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play. He carried Mike McCarthy," but he still knows the type of work that Mike McCarthy put in. So let's hit that clip.
Who said that?
Micah Parsons. Aaron, listen, there's no reason.
That's what he said.
There's no reason to get into it. I did not know that's how that was going to go, a word for word recreation, if you will, of Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons was asked about Mike McCarthy being on the last year of his contract. Micah Parsons then explained about how coaches, and Mike knows this, coaches can go coach for another 10 years. He's worried about like Zach Martin and other guys that have been around Dallas Cowboys. And then he ended it with saying, you know, those guys, those legends have done more work than Mike McCarthy could ever do or something like that.
That's very kind of you to phrase it that way.
Okay, yeah, it was definitely different. It was certainly a shock.
Fucking killed him.
It was certainly
My
a
question
shock.
at the end was just, does Mike McCarthy work hard?
Yes, Mike. What are your thoughts on Mike McCarthy? I think that would be a good angle in this entire thing. But yeah, it was. He said he didn't intend to bury anybody on his.
Sorry, the way that his microphone echoes would drive me nuts if that's how our studio sound. Just have to say that it
Yeah,
sounds
it's
like a
very-
live studio.
Very baritone.
Yeah, it's just like there's this constant reverb going
Who
on.
on Pat?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know
It's
why?
because it's
he-
in a big studio. And
But
he sits back.
Yeah,
sitting
and
like a
I
foot
think
back from
I
his
think
mic.
he has a lav mic on him as well, and they do a doubly mixy.
Well, this is just picking up major,
which is
room
why
noise.
it gives this weird hollow sound.
He said that, so we got to take him. For
Oh, you can hear the
his word. It
background.
certainly was.
But he did.
Does he have a Tuesday show?
I think it go.
Actually,
Monday,
no.
Tuesday.
The sound that you're hearing, I think, is from Aaron.
Mike.
I love
Rodgers.
Mike. I love Mike. Mike's Pittsburgh tough through and through, man. Love Mike. 13 incredible years together. So
Inches.
I ain't got much to say besides that, man. Mike's my boy. I love Mike, and you know, sometimes some people say things. Shit, I've said a lot of things I won't say back.
Yeah.
I'd like to sit back, but held on to that one. Yeah, inside words going out. Nothing about COVID, of course, but
No, of course not. No.
Oh,
we're on
Aaron
treatments, but
Rod,
the,
Ayahuasca Rodgers.
It's funny. It's funny. You want to. I mean, I don't think Cowboys are going to play New York Jets before Rodgers retires, but it's like just in case, you know, just keep your mouth shut. But
Well, and maybe. Well, Aaron Rodgers has been in the league for a long time. The guy's 40 years old. He's been in the NFL for almost 20 years. He knows that sometimes the best route is to just shut up. And I think Micah Parsons, and this happened after the game, after, you know, emotions are running, but he could have just ended that conversation in the locker room without bringing up Mike McCarthy and like what type of effort he's put in.
two thoughts come to mind, dudes, and I know, you know, this is we did already touch on this, but these two thoughts just came to mind. Is this like, where do you think this is coming from? Is it just this is kind of the new age of social media, and you're just kind of used to, like, are we getting more used? And are those players, obviously much younger than we are they used to just like everything's kind of going on social media anyway, so there's less of that hold your tongue type of thing? Or is it also like, does it speak anything about the locker room of Dallas Cowboys when the week prior we have Trevon Diggs coming out to battle a reporter? Mind you, that was wrapped up nicely, and you can get hot-headed. I think that's fine. But then you couple that with now Mike McCarthy coming out. And previous to that even, I believe Jerry Jones had some kind of questionable comments about the integrity of the coaching staff with the Cowboys in a, slighted way. So what is all that like? Does this mean anything more, or is this just Micah being on a podcast, speaking his mind, and it's a different...
The thing I didn't like about it is after Micah posted on Twitter or said something somewhere that, I'll talk about it on my podcast later this week. The comments that I made.
Yeah, the next day.
He's clickbaiting us.
He's freaking driving.
Playing the game.
But look, actually, I thought you were going to bring up because his response.
Pass one of those two, AJ.
I remember I saw his response to the whole thing on his.
It wasn't
podcast.
a drip. It wasn't a drip. I'm used to the drips now.
Yeah,
I saw his response to it on the podcast, and I thought he didn't really do a good job at breaking it up. But
what did he say? Roughly, like
he's like, yeah, Mike's lazy.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly like that. No, he just didn't really address. The comment. It was almost like what I'm talking about. The thing they said that Micah and Mike met and they patched things up,
made out,
or I have a lot of respect for Mike. He knows how much respect I have for him, but it's like it still doesn't matter the things that you said, right? You could just say, in my opinion, coaches do have the ability that they could go out and get a job. Some of these players are retiring, and we want to make sure that we're doing it. So that's where I feel bad. And that's all he had to say.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
That was it.
That's it.
Yeah, and
Period.
like
Period stamp.
like I'll always just go back to saying is I believe it's
Do you want me to get off of this?
yeah, I believe that Micah just doesn't necessarily have it's the way that he says it and then how people will run with it in the interpretation. If you were sitting down in a room with him and he said that, the whole conversation context, you might get a completely different vibe from what he means than from, just the clips that we're seeing or him standing in front of reporters and saying that. So
Immediately after a game.
yeah, I always think that that's really, really bad. I mean, in sports to have reporters going in right after a game when guys are like, give them a second to like digest what just happened.
That's on purpose.
It is on purpose. And you know what? We get awesome moments from that too.
Well, because we'll look at the fury of everybody after a game searching everything to do with that game, right? So not only is it to do with like the journalist wanting to get in there, but it's to do with the NFL wanting to get more content after their product's already done.
Yeah.
The longer people are Googling Micah Parsons, it is better for the Dallas Cowboys, I guess, for the NFL. So that's why you'll get it, but you get these raw moments.
And I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't change it. I do like the access that we get just as a fan. And I do believe that the media, they have to keep and build a relationship with these players too. So there is a little bit of that understanding. I'm sure the professionalism where you maybe have an opportunity to have a great soundbite or story, but you choose not to put that out just out of respect for the player or whatever. So, the fact when this kind of stuff slips through, I think you really got to lean on the player as the issue in that.
Oh, for sure.
That bubble. But I honestly wouldn't make too much of it, except for,
I mean, it's irrelevant, really. They're 3-6. Mike McCarthy's not going to be the coach next year. It's just like
the coach is the one person that you can blame